But welcome back. It's been a good 8-month hiatus since we last posted on the Not Funny podcast.
Yeah, I'm still paying for Spotify.
I'm still paying for YouTube Premium, and we haven't used that.
I don't know why you are.
I don't know. I honestly don't know. It's just I like to give my money out to people.
Yeah, to corporations that already have a lot of money.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. So you just came back from Europe.
I did.
That's why we haven't posted in 8 months.
Yeah, 8 months. I've been gone for 8 months long.
Pretty crazy trip.
Yeah, but yeah, it was crazy. We went to 5 different countries over the course of the last 3 weeks. We went to the UK, France, Germany, Austria, and Italy, and did all of that in a little over 3 week span.
Right.
Which was a lot of traveling, I do have to say, for one though, I have hardly ever used public transportation, like ever in my life. And I use that almost every single day there. Like it is insane.
Well, and it's more strange for us because like we live in an area where public transportation is like just hardly used at all.
Yeah, exactly. And there's like, it's just crazy. Like the trains will take you from one country to another, just like you're driving through the states.
Yeah. And you didn't have to like check in or anything? Look at your passport? So
with some of the countries, a lot of the countries other than London, they're in the Schengen zone is what it's called.
Okay.
The Schengen zone is part of the EU where they're able to freely go into other countries without having to do like passport checks and everything like that. There was one time where we were coming out of Austria back into Germany and we had police that boarded onto our train. And they all checked our IDs and passports, which I'm glad I had my passport card on me because I didn't actually have my passport on me because we were just going up in the Germany for the day for the Audi headquarter tour. But
that's good.
Yeah, it was kind of crazy just how much, and like even the landscape too. Like I have never been around like so many mountainous like landscapes, and it's just like honestly, like we had a 9-hour train ride from basically Salzburg, Austria, all the way down to Florence, Italy, and half the time I was supposed to grind out a ton of assignments because we were studying abroad. We were taking a class there. And literally about half the time I was just staring out my window, just looking at the beautiful mountains and the river. And they just had there were times where there was just vineyards, just like as far as the eye can see on the mountains and stuff. It was just super cool to be able to see that.
Yeah. It was kind of a once in a lifetime trip for you, for sure.
I know. And I spent all of it in my hotel room.
Did you?
No.
A lot of it?
No. I was out and about a lot. Just seeing like the culture and stuff. I talked with locals and stuff at times. I talked with some homeless people that really like to come up on me. Nice. There was one time in London. It was right when we had first got there. We had been out one night and we were coming back, and this homeless guy walked up to one of my buddies and said to him, he's like, "Do you have money?" And my buddy's like, "No, I don't have any money." And then he starts walking towards me, and before he even said anything, I'm like, I don't have anything because I don't have euro, I don't have pounds, I only have U.S. dollars. Yep. And he's like, "I don't want money, I want food." I'm like, I don't have anything. I don't really have much. And then we see him walk through the past the street or whatever and go up to somebody else, and he gets money from them. And you know what he does? He takes a V-line straight to the casino that's right next door and went in there and spent that money. Like, it was just like, oh yeah, definitely wanted to go gamble that away. But yeah, some of the, it was a really cool experience, but a lot of I really wanted to see, we were in the city a lot. We were in London and Paris and stuff, and it was really it's there's so many people that live there, and it's so there's a lot of trash and stuff, and it's
condensed.
Just, it's condensed.
On top of each other.
Probably the most clean area. But one thing I really wanted to see, which we weren't able to do this, but to go out into the smaller outskirts and see the countryside and stuff, because I mean we went through it and stuff. when we were on the train, but like you don't get to stop in and see what life looks like on the outskirts. And I think that would be something that I would really want to do, is to like go and live for like a week or a couple weeks out in just the
some
countryside.
random family.
Yeah, just like how like foreigners come here and they're like, oh, we're not going to LA, we're going to Malacca, Minnesota.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Right.
just doxed our location.
That's okay.
But yeah, it's just kind of funny how like they always are like wanting to go like New York or go somewhere like that's like a big place that they've heard about and stuff, and they end up here. And it's like the opposite for me. Like it was super cool to see London and Paris and Nuremberg and Florence and Rome, but I would love to see like the countryside and see
innards.
what like the innards, and see what like life looks like there. Because a lot of the one thing that I noticed is they don't have like a lot of convenience there like we do in America. In like grocery stores and things, like it was so difficult for me to just find water.
Really?
Yes. Like it just, there's not a lot, like there's not gas stations everywhere. There's not like it feels like you're walking around in like downtown Minneapolis. Like you don't have a lot of convenience stores, or there's not a lot to be able to like find.
So what do they have then?
The one thing that I noticed they did have in Germany, they had a place called Miller's that sold like it was weird. It felt like kind of like when you walk in, you feel like you're in a Macy's, but then you go downstairs and there's like a little small grocery section, like a Macy's with a grocery section, which was kind of interesting. But like there's not like a lot of like, there's these small like mom and pop shops, but there's not a lot of like big like Walmarts or Targets or anything.
Which kind of makes sense, because like in America it's like all capitalism and franchises and
but it's just weird. Like even like towards the end, I ran out of deodorant, so I was kind of pulling the European style of smelling a little bit.
You're gonna make some enemies.
No. And I just was desperately in need, so I went over to this shop that was right next to our hotel room in Italy, and I walked in there and I saw some deodorant, and I quick grabbed it, and there was only one guy in there, and he was working it, and there was nobody else in there, and he was just doing his own thing. It was probably like 9:00 at night, so it was getting late, and he didn't even see what I had in my hand. Like I grabbed the deodorant and I walked up to the cash register, and he's like, €5, and like didn't even like scan it or anything like that.
Really?
It's just this small little travel size deodorant. I'm like, €5 for this, and he's like,
do you know the exchange?
Yeah, so for €1, it's $1.06 for €1.
Okay,
so it's pretty close.
Yeah.
So it's like just a little over like $5 for a travel size deodorant stick. So I was a little bit like taken aback by that, and he didn't scan it or anything. He didn't have like whatever. So luckily I had.
What brand was it?
It was Dove.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if it was like some German brand.
No, it was
French brand
like Dove Men Plus, but
okay. So they have that over there.
They do, which I was surprised, honestly.
Did they have so like when you go into like a convenience store? I guess you said there wasn't much, but
there's nothing like Americanized. Like it's all like everything's in whatever native languages, whatever country you're in.
Yeah.
There was actually a store in Germany that was called the American British store, and like I think they were trying to like, I don't know if they were trying to make fun of Americans or if they were trying to like show what they think Americans' lifestyle looks like. And when you're walking by, there's a window, and the only thing you see in the window is just all these BB guns, and they're all like they all look like real guns, but all of those countries there, they don't have access to guns.
Yeah.
They don't have any sort of like guns at all. So like it's BB guns, but it's just funny. You're walking by and you just see a bunch of guns, and they're like, oh yeah, that's what they think about America.
Well, I don't know what show was it. There was a show on Netflix where they were in the UK, and they had the American Diner.
Okay.
In the UK.
Oh yeah.
So it was like this like something you'd see on Route 66, like this real diner, like trucker diner. and French fries, American French fries, and
Mm.
cheeseburgers, and American food.
Yeah.
So they, just like we have Italian restaurants and what other
Yeah.
Chinese restaurants here,
Mexican,
they have
whatever.
American restaurants.
Oh, they have stuff like that too in the UK. I had
Yeah.
Indian one night in UK.
Mm-hmm.
That didn't sit well with me. We had Chinese in Austria. We had Mexican in Germany. And we had something, maybe we didn't have anything in France. But I did have like some interesting like food like there. Like in France I had snail.
Yep.
That was really good. I enjoyed it.
What we talked about this before. What is it called?
I don't know what it's called. It's hard to I don't know what it would.
There's a name for it.
I know. I
It's
just
like
can't think of what
I've heard it's really popular.
It is popular. It's you toss it on a little bread and it's like a little salty kind of. It has like the texture of like calamari or like squid.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like I don't know. It had like a I wasn't watching.
Go on.
It had like a I don't know. It was just a weird texture or weird flavor to it, but it was pretty good. I enjoyed it after I completely messed up the entire table. Like just like made a mess because it was like you have to get this little. There's just this little like knife or whatever or like fork that you just like have to get it out of the shell, and I just made a whole mess on the table. Everybody's looking at me. No, you're good. But yeah, there was just a lot of different foods there. The beer in Germany is great. I do have to say that.
Is it?
It is good. It's better than the U.S.
Anything?
That was my favorite. It was a lot better there. It just like I don't know. Maybe it was just because I was in Germany and I was like, oh, this beer is way better than anything else.
Mm-hmm.
But like I just got a normal beer and it was. I don't even know what it was.
What's a normal beer? Like their domestic?
It wasn't even like a domestic. It was a draft beer that was on tap. I think it was their domestic, but yeah, like I had that and then
did you have any gin in the UK?
I didn't. No.
You didn't?
I had a beer in the UK and it literally just tasted like a Logic Bomb from Surly.
Oh, okay.
It was nothing special. But yeah, that and then I had a guy that when I was in London, I was at a bar down by Piccadilly Circus, which is like their like Times Square type thing. And this guy, like I was at a bar there and I was just waiting for my drink and this guy approached me and he just had said some joke because I tipped the bartender, which is kind of uncommon there. Like they don't really do tips. And he's like, oh, you're tipping him? Like, oh yeah, I mean, why not? Like made me a good drink or whatever. And then he's like, and then I asked him if he's a local because he kind of had an accent, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm from around here or whatever." And he's like, "You're from around here, right? Too, right?" I'm like, "No." I'm like, "Do I sound like I'm from here?" And he's like, "Yeah, you do." I'm like, "I just tipped the bartender."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Where are you from?" Like, "I'm from the U.S." He's like, "Well, no, duh. Where in the U.S.?"
Oh, at that point, he's like, "No, duh." Yeah.
And so we just started talking, and then he was.
Did you tell him where you were from?
I told him I was from Minnesota, but
okay.
like whatever. And he was a little, I think he was pretty drunk at the time. Okay. So he was just talking like, he was like, oh, he's like, here's my boss right here. He's like, you're a marketing major. He's like, you sound like a big deal here. Like, whatever, just like talking me up or whatever. I'm like, all right, I'm going to go back to my group here.
Right.
But yeah, that and we just had a lot of fun. I think the most that we went out was in London. We actually went to a club.
Did you?
Yes. Club
fun.
49. I don't want to shout them out because they sucked.
Was it? Was it bad?
Yeah, we walked up and they're like, we asked the like bouncer, we're like, is it pretty good in there? And he's like, oh yeah, I mean, once you guys get in there, it'll be good. Which probably should have taken as a sign as no, it's not good. We walk in there. There was one other like group of like 4 or 5 people in there, and that was it.
Ooh.
And we had to pay like 5-6 euro not euro, pounds to get in there.
Cover fee kind of deal.
Yeah. And so we're just sitting there, and I don't have the video of this. I should find the video of this, but there was a guy in my group that had went to the Lego store earlier that night, got a little Lego double-decker bus, and was putting it together in the club because there was nothing else to do.
Wow.
So, yeah, it was an all right night, but
so after your trip, are you going to continue to drive an Audi, or are you going to switch?
I mean, does it look like... I mean, I thoroughly enjoyed my tour at Audi. I had a lot of fun there. I got this T-shirt, which I don't know if you can even see it. I can't see it on the screen because it's not showing us, but I got this T-shirt.
Did they have like an on-site track and everything right there?
Yeah. I didn't get to see that. We only did a factory tour, so when we went in, we were able to watch them literally manufacture like Audis.
Saw the line or whatever.
Yeah, we walked through the line. We saw them put every single part together and just watching them like every individual. And it was interesting because at like that factory line, they don't just do one single thing every single time. They rotate. So like everybody knows a little bit about every single position, which is good for like it was smart. And they talked about like in COVID, like when people were out, everyone kind of knew what to do and help out. And it's interesting too, like they're on like I don't know if you've ever seen like a factory production.
Yeah,
you have? Yep. Okay. So like they have like just this moving line where like you're standing on it and the car is like up, like raised up above you, and you're just like working on it and moving at the same speed that's at. And I don't know.
It's strange.
It's weird. It's really weird. I never like even thought about how cars were made, and just like seeing that was kind of crazy. But yeah, that was a lot of fun. We went to a pencil factory that was really boring.
Yeah,
it was an hour long, and I felt like it was 5 hours long.
Right.
It was Faber-Castell.
A pencil factory. What pencil factory was it?
Faber-Castell.
Is that something I should know? Or
I don't know. Okay. I'd never heard about it before.
So who made you do that?
The profs. We went to multiple business sites when we were there. So we went to... the pencil factory actually made the 2 visits prior actually a lot more interesting because the 2 before that one was an accounting firm
and one was a graphic company.
No, the other one before that was a bank. Because we went with 2 accounting and finance profs. And all their connections are finance and accounting, and I could care less because I'm a business marketing major. Yeah, I'm a big pencil guy. So like those 2 were pretty boring. And then like the pencil factory was horrible. And then we had 2 other visits in Italy where we went to a cheese factory, which was kind of cool. I kind of got PTSD from my assembly line days because that's what it looked like there. And it just smelled like cheese. Yeah. Which wasn't a bad thing.
You should clarify when you say assembly line. Because you were just talking about cars.
It wasn't a car assembly line. It was a frozen pizza assembly line that I worked at. Where I used to work.
Make pizzas.
I don't know if I even showed you this, but I'll send you we'll send the photo. But in Italy, they make some of the pizza that they make is kind of interesting. They had margarita pizzas on their menu, and I wanted to get a margarita, and so I got that. And normally what you think of as a margarita pizza is it's got the mozzarella, arugula, the basil and tomato on it, and then it came out as a cheese pizza. And that happened twice. And then the second time
when you were over there?
When I was over in Italy.
Oh, okay.
I ordered a margarita and it just came out as a cheese pizza. Which was weird.
Yeah.
And then the one time that I could have actually ordered the right margarita, I ordered a sausage and mushroom pizza, and this is what it came out as. That's raw sausage.
And what do they expect you to do with it?
You eat it.
Just like that?
Uh-huh.
Did you eat it? How was it?
I picked it out. It was
I'd have a tough time doing that too.
I couldn't after with my assembly line work, I used to grab raw sausage and put it in the machines to make the pizza and stuff. And I just could not handle that. And it was really I was not happy about that, which obviously I can't just tell them hey, I don't like this pizza, because they're just going to spit in my face and throw it at me.
Were they pretty much like mom and pop shop pizza places
Yeah.
too?
Well, that one was a mom and pop shop. The other two were like sit down restaurant areas. One was a nicer one. The second or the other one kind of just was like kind of a sketchy.
Sketchy.
I learned in Europe, so I don't know. We don't really have this in America where people stand outside the restaurant and like try and like sale, like kind of like give you a sales pitch to get into the restaurant. Like, have you ever had that before?
No,
Like
well, not probably to the extent of what you
like
experienced.
they're like, hey, we got a table big enough for your group here, and we got a really good menu here, and it's fairly affordable.
No,
And they're like, come on in or whatever. We speak English. Those ones are the worst restaurants to go to.
Right. That
The
makes a lot of
ones that
sense.
don't do that are the best restaurants.
Right.
So if you ever go to Europe,
because they don't need to. They don't need to
don't need
bribe
it.
you
Yeah,
to
exactly.
get you in.
so like
Or-
every place that we went to that we fell for that sucked. Every place that we like,
You actually fell for it though.
yes, because we were a group of 10. It was hard to get into a
Oh.
restaurant with a group of 10.
Yeah.
But we did, and like one of the experiences in Italy, we had a group, or we sat down or whatever, and we're like, hey, can we get separate checks or whatever? Because like, a lot of the times they're not super happy when you do separate checks because there's a cover fee on
That
it
makes sense.
instead of a tip.
Yeah.
And this guy's like, no, we're not McDonald's to us. And we're like, okay. So we ended
But
up,
everyone had some cash of some sort, right?
we didn't have cash. Some of us had euros,
But you could like Venmo each other.
yeah,
and
we
stuff,
ended up doing like Venmo. Like I took a check one night, and
which isn't really a
um,
big deal,
no, as long as
I-
everybody's got their Venmo set
right?
up. Because there were definitely some times where I didn't get paid by people,
Oh, really?
and I was like,
Dang.
I'm gonna be passive aggressive Minnesota nice and just not say anything, but I'm gonna be a little pissed off because he didn't pay for this
Right.
champagne. I do have to say though, probably some of the best things out of the trip in general was like, I think one of the coolest days was going to Rome, just because there was so many. Oh, go ahead.
Where is Rome? Like,
So-
if you look at a map
Mhm.
of Italia,
So yeah, I'm just gonna pull up maps here, but if you look, if it loads, so we'll pull this on screen for viewers that don't know.
Yeah.
Either. But yeah, thank you. So Rome is right in the center of Italy.
and where were you staying?
I was in Florence, which was north.
Holy buckets!
Quite a ways. It's only like an hour and a half train ride over to
Wow,
Rome.
that's crazy.
But
It seems so far away.
yeah, I know. It's kind of. Let me just fix this. But, yeah, it seems like it's a ways away, but it honestly isn't that bad when you're on a train because like there's no traffic or anything like that. But yeah, I think that was probably the coolest day out of all of them, just because we only had like 6 hours in Rome because we had to be back for a group dinner and class.
And that was like a do it on your own time outing.
It kind of was, but literally everybody that was on the trip went to Rome that
Yeah,
day,
you have
including a prof. So I think some of the coolest things was seeing like the Colosseum. That was the first thing we did. As soon as we got off the train station, we just basically ran to the Colosseum because it was still early in the day and it was not as busy. But let me see if I have my photo pulled up here of like just like how massive the Coliseum is. Just like seeing like, I think somebody said when it was
Did you take some videos?
yeah, I took a lot of videos. But somebody said, I don't know if it was 100,000 or 150,000 people could fit inside the Coliseum
That's crazy.
when it was like,
How is that? That's.
I mean,
nuts.
it's massive. It's like, I don't know what it is size comparison to some of the modern day stadiums, but like it just like it took a while to walk around and everything like that. And
Did you learn some history about the Colosseum, or did you just kind of see it?
we just saw it. We weren't able to. We could have went inside. It was fairly. fairly cheap to get inside, but normally it just takes so long to get in,
Yeah.
and we didn't have all day to be able to go there. So,
because I've like watched shows and stuff that talk about the history of it and stuff.
yeah,
I've heard there's like 4 or 5 floors beneath the main floor.
oh yeah, yep.
So like they would flood it and everything and do like these battleships
Yeah.
inside the Coliseum,
which is just insane.
like back in that day, the technology they had
yeah.
was minuscule compared to like what we have today, and they were still able to do all that.
I saw a video too, and I don't know how true this is, but some people said that like if the Roman Empire never actually fell, we'd be like 500 years more advanced than we are currently.
Yeah,
Which
it's all
all speculation and theory, but it just was crazy to see how massive those buildings were and how they're still standing today. Like you don't have anything in America that's that old. And seeing that, and we walked around a little bit and saw like some ruins and stuff. And then we booked it over to the Pantheon quick and went and saw that.
What is
It's kind of like the Roman version of the Parthenon.
Oh,
But not as cool as the Parthenon.
where is that big cathedral that burnt down a couple years ago? Do you know what I'm
Notre
talking
Dame?
about? Is that what it is?
Is that
Where-
that probably is?
Where is that?
That's in France.
Oh, okay.
I saw it. Yeah.
Oh, you did see it?
Yeah, they were doing renovations on it when I was, because they are still rebuilding from the fire.
I've heard like if you see these big cathedrals and stuff, it's like mind-boggling how big they are, because those are a lot older than a lot of stuff that's over in Europe.
Oh yeah, I think that's St. Paul's Cathedral. That was in London.
You can show all this. I mean, show it all to me.
So this is Notre Dame.
Oh, okay. Maybe that's not the one I'm thinking of.
This one started to burn down. I think I want to say it was like 2016, 2017 or something. Otherwise, I went to a couple different cathedrals. There was one in London that was huge, called St. Paul's Cathedral, and that was just ginormous. And we actually went to a service there, which was boring to say the least, but it was a cool experience to be able to be in there.
You said St. Paul's Cathedral?
Yeah, St. Paul's.
Oh yeah. I don't know which one I was thinking about, but
I don't know. I didn't get to see.
What is the one with the paintings on the
Sistine Chapel?
Sistine Chapel.
I did not get to see that. That is in Rome.
Okay.
It's in Vatican City, which is just a little bit. Yeah.
Okay.
That was something that a lot of us wanted to do, and some of us actually split up. There was a group that really wanted to go, and we had probably like 3-ish hours left in Rome, and it was like a little less than an hour walk where we were to get there and back. And like we could have taken public transportation, but it's just so difficult in the city. Like we don't speak Italian, and we don't have just euros laying around.
And
it's
you're
all
with
card for the most part.
25
Yeah, we're with
people.
a large group. So they ended up hiking up there, and they were able to see it for a little bit, and got to see a lot of that. And
that would be super crazy to see. That would be super cool.
Yeah.
But I've heard it. Well, I'm not. I shouldn't say it that way. How do I phrase this? They have their own rules and laws and stuff.
Oh yeah, it's basically like its own country essentially.
So it's like, do you really want to do it? You don't really know how to.
Yeah, I think it was definitely a cool experience for them. I think I would definitely want to go back and see it. Like I definitely would love to see it, but it's crazy because like they talked about how there's no photo. You can't take any photos of it. There's some people that definitely snuck photos
In your group?
in my group, yeah, and got photos of it.
Who were they?
I don't even remember who it was, but I just know that there were some people that I saw photos of it. You have to take your hats off, like it's like kind of like a traditional type, and it's just like quiet, and it's pretty dark and warm in there because they're trying to just preserve the paintings. I was going to take off on a different note there for a second, but I can't remember.
Well, it's their own little country.
Yeah, it's basically their own little country. And one of one of my friends from Malacca was also there, and she actually saw the Pope. Like,
oh yeah, I
day.
saw that. Yeah, I saw her
on her
post
story.
about it.
I saw it on her story. That was kind of crazy. But instead of going to Sistine Chapel, I ended up. I saw Trevi Fountain, which I don't know if you know what that is.
Mm-mm.
I'll show a photo here. That's like just this huge fountain in the middle of Rome, and you're supposed to, in order to have good luck, you're supposed to throw a
Over your shoulder.
throw it over your shoulder or something in there.
Coin.
I have so many photos here.
Yeah, you gotta show us some of those photos
Yeah, I'll
or videos.
I'll send those
whatever you
over
got.
here. But
I want you to talk about the videos.
so
and
like
stuff.
this is Trevi Fountain here.
Oh yeah, okay, I've seen that.
Yeah.
Super famous.
Yeah, pretty famous. And like the Pantheon. This is the Pantheon.
So how old is that then compared to like the Colosseum? That
I
must
don't
be
even
newer
know. It's I think it's
or older.
I think it's older than
Is
the
it really?
than the Colosseum.
That's
The Colosseum is one of the newer buildings that they had.
That is weird.
But like instead of doing that, I ended up just finding like a really good restaurant that wasn't doing a sales pitch, and just had some really good pasta, and then experienced the culture. We went into in Florence and Rome. Leather is just everything. Like everybody loves leather, so and like it's
So it must. They must. I mean, why is it so sought after? Do
I
they
don't.
not
It's
have
just
it?
they
Is it
have
more
they have
rare?
all these markets and different things where they have all these different people that are trying to sell you stuff, and it could be fake, could be real.
Yeah.
But we went to a leather shop that was actually one of the highest rated ones in Rome, and we didn't know that at the time. It was just tucked away in this little alley, and it was super cool. Like we saw, like there was an actual guy that was working, like doing leather stuff and doing like customizations,
Tanning it and whatever.
yeah, and
Yeah.
just doing the whole thing. He was doing initials too, like customizations. So like I got my girlfriend like this purse type thing, and he was putting like initials on it. It was super cool to see.
How much was it expensive?
It was it was kind of it was under $100.
Oh, okay, that's not bad.
So it wasn't too
I
bad.
wouldn't call that bad.
But it was like it's just a smaller like little coin and
pretty
thing.
cool.
But it's genuine leather, and it was super cool experience to actually see that
kind of deal.
Yeah, handcrafted and everything like that. But
So what about of course we got to talk about like the Eiffel Tower.
yes, the
Show
Eiffel
me some
Tower.
pictures.
So funny story about the Eiffel Tower. We went to it on like our first free day, but we did not go up it because we planned to do it the next day. And it was kind of a rainy day that day, so there wasn't a lot of like, it wasn't really cool to see it, but like, yeah, like here's a photo of me in the Eiffel Tower. But it's just
How far away are you in that photo?
not far, but like you can see like, okay, like this is like right up next to it.
Yeah.
Like you can see how high, like it's crazy, and like all the buildings there are just like they're not that tall. Like there's something with their like ground that can only hold so much weight before things collapse. So everything is pretty short there.
So it kind of makes the Eiffel Tower look that much bigger as well.
Yeah, and you can see like I went to Arc de Triomphe, which is this huge arc.
Call of Duty.
Call of Duty.
I've seen it in Call of Duty.
I don't think
the first Call of Duty, like the first one on PS2.
Oh, okay.
They had that.
But you can see like here's a skyline view of from the Arc de Triomphe. Like there's the Eiffel Tower, and it just stands out completely.
Are you?
I'm up on the top of that Arc de Triomphe.
Oh, you can go up on top of it?
Yeah, you can go up.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was super cool because like that's like one of the higher spots in the city.
Yeah.
And like you can see everything, and I probably was up there. There's not only that, but there's just this huge roundabout above it or below it.
Yep.
And there's no lines, there's no speed, like there's nothing. You're just driving around
chaos.
it. It's just chaos. Like I don't know if I could drive it. I feel like I would get in a car accident. Like I don't know how people don't get in car accidents. And we couldn't even walk across it. We had to go underground to go up to it.
Right.
But yeah, it just showed how big the Eiffel Tower is compared to everything else. And even like we went to like a basilica that was up on a hill, and you could see just this whole skyline view as well. And it kind of, I don't know if you could see the Eiffel Tower from there. I did get to see the Mona Lisa though.
Yeah, let's see that. Let's see it.
Got a photo of the Mona Lisa. I should have taken a selfie with it.
Yeah, I was gonna say I thought you were gonna be in it.
Yeah, I don't
then
think I
really,
did take a.
It proves that you were actually there.
I mean, this is a video
Okay.
of the room that I was in with the Mona Lisa. God, why did I not?
So
take a
are those
selfie?
all who painted the Mona Lisa?
Mona Lisa?
Yeah, who painted it? Why
No.
can't I think of
I don't
this?
know. I can't remember.
This is like pretty simple knowledge here.
Hold on. Let me look it up.
You're gonna look it up?
Yep.
Wow.
Who
We're big Randys.
painted?
Leonardo da Vinci.
Yeah, Da Vinci.
Did he? So were those all Leonardo da Vinci
I don't
paintings
know
in
if
that video? Or,
Sorry, I
yeah, you're
got
good.
a little bit excited.
Yeah.
No, I don't think so. I think some of them were, but not all of them. A lot of, like, you can see, like, even in the photo that I had prior to, like, just the amount of artwork. This was all in the Louvre, which is
Yeah, I would love to go there. That
yeah.
would be so cool.
we didn't even get enough time in there. So like this. Actually, let me pull up a better photo.
They have like the glass pyramid or whatever.
Yeah,
in
the
there.
glass pyramid.
So is that's in a big like?
This is the Louvre, and I think
Yeah.
that's just the most beautiful. Like, just to set the scenery
It's
for this
big
photo.
courtyard.
Before we walked in there, it was kind of raining and stuff, and we walked through this like big arc to get up there, and there was someone playing violin in there, and just had some
Like a
beautiful
hired person or like
no,
a-
just
a
someone on
busker?
someone on the street just playing violin, and
Oh,
we walked through it, and it had cleared up finally, and it was just so beautiful with the violin playing in the background, and just
The
seeing
aesthetic
that.
was-
The aesthetic was beautiful. I thought someone was gonna get proposed to there.
oh yeah. You were in a movie. You're like, where's the
Yeah, I know. I was like, "Where's the cameras at?"
And you
Am I in the
just
podcast?
you just turned and kissed your dude next to you.
Yeah, I kissed one of the guys. No. When in France.
Yep. What,
was in
what
Paris?
happens in France stays in France.
Yeah. No, but it was that was super cool sight, and being in the Louvre and seeing I think the coolest part of the Louvre was seeing Coldplay's album cover.
What?
You know, Coldplay's album cover, like the Viva the
Oh yeah.
the paintings in
The
there.
real
one is in
yeah.
there.
I'm like, why do they have an album cover in there?
I know. I wanted to do it I forgot to take a photo of it, and I wanted to
Oh
like post and be like, saw Coldplay's album cover today.
yeah.
The
The original.
original.
Do you have any like train ride photos or videos?
I have a couple, but they're just like trying to get out the window and not like actually looking at the train itself. I do have to touch on one other thing too for sure before we wrap things up here. But let me see if I have. I don't know if I have many. It would probably be down farther. Here's like a video just of going on the train here.
Where is this at?
This is just countryside.
Between what? Is
I
this
want to say this
Austria or
was
something?
it was Germany to Austria.
Oh, okay.
So like just seeing like the countryside, or even like
What is that? You gotta show me some of these pictures.
oh, this is a video.
That's crazy.
The
What is that now?
It's a church in Germany in Nuremberg.
It's just a church. Like
Just the
there's-
church. Yep. And this
Wow.
is like the town square and stuff. There were
That
some
is so
markets in
cool.
there. They
See,
were
that's the
ringing
kind of
bells.
stuff like they don't show in the movie. Or,
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, maybe they do, but
Yeah, like this was just such a cool photo. That was one of the coolest photos I got of Germany.
yeah, that is super cool.
Um,
But that's kind of the innards, like we were talking about,
Yeah.
like that you wouldn't necessarily think of when you think of Germany. Or,
Yeah, and I don't know if you're a Sound of Music fan, but this is where they danced or something on a fountain. I don't know. I've never seen the movie, but that was in Austria.
This is where they danced or something.
Probably one of the coolest moments, though, of all the trip, like moments was I had two that stood out.
Yeah.
Skiing in the Austria Alps, which
Yep.
was awesome, and then going to a PSG game, which is Paris Saint-Germain, which is
I forgot about
a
that.
soccer game.
Yeah.
Well, they call it football there, which I'm glad I didn't say soccer when I was there.
Yeah, that's
but
probably smart.
yeah, but it was those two moments were probably the coolest. I wish though when I was in the mountains for the Alps, it was such a like you can see here on this photo, the visibility was insanely horrible. Yeah, I guess it's live.
I love the helmet.
I needed a helmet.
I bet.
It was scary.
Wear one too. 100%.
I have a video here of.
You got a close up on your helmet.
Well, here's me just skiing like in the Alps, which
what a day to do it too. Look at the snow coming down.
Yeah,
the visibility's 0.
Yeah, the visibility was horrible. I wish I could have seen more.
Yeah.
But like even from that, like the best photo I got from that was coming down the gondola. There were like 3 different ski lifts that you had to take up to get to the top of the mountain. But like from this, girlfriend's texting me.
That's all right.
Like this, you can see like. So this is a lake here.
Yep.
And then the city is right here, and then or the town, and then you're going up the mountain. Just kind of an insane. Actually, is it live? Oh yeah, it is. Yeah, you can see.
You're going down there.
I'm going down because the first time I went down the mountain, I accidentally went down a closed slope.
Oh boy!
By accident. And the reasoning why it was closed was because it was difficult slope conditions, which basically meant it was icy. I felt like I was back in Minnesota. But it was, oh, God.
You got to stop doing that.
I'm sorry. I just.
No snowboarders, though.
There were a couple, yeah.
Not nearly as popular as over here.
Because a lot of the times over there, they just kind of they don't like snowboarders.
Right, yeah.
Because they mess up the slopes.
And that's how it used to be in the Rockies and stuff. If you there's old videos you can watch of like when snowboarders just started coming out and doing it, of all these skiers like talking trash about snowboarders and stuff.
I would never snowboard down that or snowboard in general. I just feel like I'd be horrible at it, and I would probably break something like my brother did. But yeah, it was just such a cool experience. Even like going down that closed area, I don't have photos because I was so sketched out the entire time because it was a pretty flat like slope going down. You just kept going back and forth.
Yep.
But it was icy and there was quite a bit of a drop off and no guardrail or anything like that. You fall off, you're going to be severely injured or dead.
Yeah.
Like there's no hope. So I was going super slow, but it was super pretty. There were like trees and stuff. There wasn't really anyone around us. You
were in a group? So all of you went down the closed area? Or
no, unfortunately with our group, a lot of people just didn't know how to ski or were injured and couldn't ski. So it was only me and one other girl from Bethel that went. And I'm glad I went with her because if I didn't go with her, I probably would have ate it a lot more because she was very slow. She had skied before, but she wasn't as good, so she was very slow and she wiped out a bunch, which was hilarious to watch because you see her like there wasn't a lot of people that I saw fall, but she fell like right away and she was bolting down. She was trying to pizza to slow down and she couldn't. She just ate it and started tumbling. And I'm just laughing behind her, but I'm glad I went with her because I would have been probably a dumb A and just decided to absolutely go down as fast as I could. And I did. The second time I went down the mountain, the first time it took me an hour and a half to get down because I was going pretty slow. Second time I went down 2/3 of it in like 20 minutes and just flew down it. And then I took the last third I went down just on the gondola because I didn't want to try. It was either Black Diamond or the closed off area. So I took the gondola.
So would you go back to Europe then?
I definitely would. I think out of all the countries that I went to, Italy was my favorite. Yeah. Just because the food was really good. There's a lot of sights to see and a lot of things that I still want to see in Italy. Just because there was a lot of different, I don't even know. There was just every sort of sights that you can see. Like in Rome, there's stuff in Florence. There's stuff like I want to see Venice. Didn't even get to see Venice. There's just so many different things that I would love to see still. Yeah. Germany was was a close second and third, or the second 2 seconds like kind of tied was London and Germany. And I really liked Austria too. I just didn't spend a lot of time there. Yeah. And then France would probably be my least favorite, which is a hot take.
We don't need to go into
We don't
that
need to go into it, but I just
too much culture shock. For
yeah,
that
too much.
country.
That was the first country that we had that wasn't the main speaking English.
Yeah, that's
language,
tough.
so everything was in French,
It's tough.
and French people don't like
Yeah,
us.
yeah.
so.
I was gonna say you might think you're offending people, but they don't like you anyway.
They don't like us. Everybody in France looks like they are having their worst day ever. They're just so pissed off and could not want to be
funny.
there. But
That's
yeah, overall it was.
So would you rather go back to Europe again, or would you rather go to like somewhere in Asia or?
I think probably Europe, because I really would like to see Greece as well, and we didn't go to Greece at all. There's some other countries that I'd probably like to see too. I'd like to go. Like we had a layover in Amsterdam, and I really
didn't
wanted to
mean to
go.
do that.
No, you're
I
good.
kicked you.
And I really would like to go see the Netherlands because
that'd be
I'm
pretty
Dutch
cool.
as well. So
I'd like to go to like Scandinavia.
Oh, yeah.
yeah, that would be fun.
Yeah.
I really want to go to Iceland. Like I haven't been to
I've
many
heard
places,
about
but-
that. I've really wanted to do that too.
That'd be so fun. Maybe we
Yeah.
should do it.
We
Could
should do it. Trip.
Next
NFP,
couple years. Let's
NFP.
just save up. It costs about 10 grand at the cheapest to do a trip like
That's
that.
spendy.
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, I'm sure you could figure out a way to do it cheaper, but it's like
Mhm.
everything in Iceland. Like I've heard like jugs of milk are like $25
Oh, I'm sure it's
a
spendy.
gallon.
You can rent a car though there without being
Right.
25.
Yeah. And they're like this big.
Yeah. But it's whatever. It works.
But
Anyways,
all right.
but
anything
yeah,
else
no.
about Europe?
I mean, other than that, I would definitely recommend going to Europe. It was a lot of fun. I would probably next time I would definitely probably stay in just one country and just be able to experience the culture a little bit
Yeah.
more there. But it was a lot of fun to see like a sample size of 5 different countries in 3 weeks. But definitely go to a soccer game. I enjoyed that as well. Lots of fun. You don't know what's going on half the time. Football game. European football. Definitely recommend though. But yeah, that's basically it.
Cool.
Thank you guys for watching again for the NFP.
Yeah. Catch us on Spotify.
Yeah, definitely. And
Those
look
are-
out for a NFP vlog of Europe. I'll be putting something together for that. So you'll be able to see a lot more photos and videos of my experience and
You better come
all
through
these
with
countries.
that now.
Oh, yeah.
You better
I will.
not say that.
Well, I mean, by the time this comes out, I'm sure I'll have it done.
Yeah.
But thanks, guys, again. And
Spotify.
subscribe.
Spotify, YouTube,
Yeah.
email us.
sjcardpodcast@gmail.com.
Yep, you got it.
All right. We'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.